That's what we did.
Welcome back to Hanratty's Huddle with your host, Terry Hanratty. I'm Dave Toromeo. I am back from Saratoga. Rob Adams pinch hitting last week, and you guys sounded great. Covered a lot of bases. I'm jealous. You spent more time with Rob.
Well, Rob and I haven't been together in months.
That's true.
So we finally got together, and we just couldn't stop. So we just talked a little bit about everything. So.
Good. Well, there's a lot to cover, so let's just jump right in. We have the start of the NFL season tonight.
We do.
We have Kansas City playing Baltimore. Should be a good game. We have Kansas City favored by 3 points. I have a feeling Baltimore's going to win tonight. I don't know why.
I will take Kansas City.
All right, we have
and the reason for that.
Yeah.
Because I've been preaching all along.
Yeah.
That there should be more contact in the preseason.
Yes, I heard that last
practice week. And in games. The kids should be playing more. And obviously, we covered the exception is Aaron Rodgers because he's 40 years old and he's coming off of the ACL, or not the ACL, but the Achilles. And so, he's the exception.
Okay, so you're giving me the 3 points?
Andy Reid takes his team away every year.
Yes.
Like the Steelers do. The Steelers go from Pittsburgh up to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and practice at St. Vincent's College. Then we come back to Pittsburgh. Andy takes his kids out of Kansas City, takes them away where there can be no distractions around, and they actually hit. And they're one of the few teams that actually hit in warm-ups or in preseason practices now.
Right.
So I think these kids are ready to play from day one. Baltimore, on the other hand, I don't know about their backgrounds, but I don't think they do. I don't think there's many teams in the NFL that do hit in practice.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to take Kansas City tonight.
All right. So you're giving me the 3, and we're going to bet a buck.
Why not?
Deal?
We'll break the bank.
We'll break the bank. Okay. So let's see. Now that we have this background, this is kind of a little funky, isn't it? Maybe all right. So let's all right. So what else is on your mind? Notre Dame, good win for the Irish.
It was one game that when I looked at our schedule, that's the one that really scared me.
Right.
Because you have an offensive line. 5 guys have a total of 6-game playing experience.
Yeah.
You're going down to Texas.
Yeah.
Where late August, early September is always 150 degrees.
Yep.
But we caught a break there. It was only 85 degrees. So it was like a spring day in Texas.
Yeah.
But our left tackle, legitimate, true freshman.
Yeah.
Against a kid who's probably going to be a first-round pick, defensive end.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job on him. I think he did a great job in the run. He got beaten once in the pass, but our quarterback was able to step around him. So that wasn't, I think they performed admirably, and they're only going to get better throughout the season. I think the quarterback ran the ball really well, and I think the defense pretty well saved us. I mean, they kept a good Texas A&M team, good offensive team, basically off the board.
Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, not to pick on their schedule, it's not a strong schedule.
No.
And then one of the teams that you would have picked out at the beginning, Florida State, is god awful. 0-2. Got crushed. I mean, they got beat by Georgia Tech on a last-second field goal. And then, I mean, the BC game, I don't know if you watched it. It wasn't, I mean, BC just dominated them.
BC, there was no question that BC really beat them up.
Yeah.
In Tallahassee. And,
Florida
BC was not even ranked. I mean, they were, new coach Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's one of the great performances there. And the head coach of Florida State really, I started watching towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
When BC was really dominating. I mean, they ran the ball at will. The score does not show how badly BC beat Florida State.
I agree, yeah.
But after a while, the kids were coming to the sidelines at a timeout or whatever, and they never paid attention to the head coach. Usually it's the head coach. I was specifically watching to see how they would react in those situations.
Yeah.
Where they were just sort of steering away from him. You wonder if he's losing the team. I mean, they lost a big upset against Georgia Tech in Ireland.
Right.
Now, this was a bounce-back game, and they were supposed to dominate Boston College.
They were a 16-point favorite.
It was just the opposite. At home with the student body, with the crowd behind you, and just laying an egg like that. And you wonder now, is a really turning point for Florida State. I mean, the playoffs are out of question. I don't think it could be a 2-team loss.
They couldn't get in the championship game last year. They were defeated.
That's the thing. They had most of the team back.
Yeah.
But the quarterback was a question mark, and he did not play well. But he had, to be honest, he had several passes dropped.
I
in
did
big
see that,
situations, kids wide open,
yeah.
drop the ball. It could have been a game changer. So it's not totally his fault.
It's not, but he's
But
under the gun.
what
Yeah,
the big thing, the kids not paying attention to the head coach towards the end of the game.
yeah,
That was major. But they could not adjust to BC's quarterback running the ball. What
yeah,
they were doing, they thought they could cover BC man to man.
right,
And the only person that's unaccounted for is the quarterback.
right.
So they were chasing the receivers all over the field as
Yeah,
the quarterback rolls around,
yeah,
and there's no one there. So he just kept running the ball, breaking their back. And the thing is, you have to adjust. You have to drop into a zone
yeah,
where there's going to be a person or a spy on the quarterback out of a zone. You can't do it out of a man-to-man because there's nobody to watch him.
right.
You don't want a linebacker watching that quarterback. You want a safety or defensive back watching the quarterback. But in this thing, they were running all over the field with the receivers, and no one ever caught that. I can't believe it. I was just screaming, how does
Yeah.
Florida State not make the adjustment to that?
They were ill prepared for what the BC quarterback could do, and they did not adjust. And that is, boy, if those are two damning statements about any coaching staff in the world, high school, college, pro, that you're not prepared for something and then you don't adjust. Yeesh. So Florida State, oh good grief, so let's just say, I mean, no, I mean really, so the only really competitive, I want to say competitive, but because Stanford, I don't know what Stanford is, but I saw them play.
I think Stanford's pretty good. I think
Stanford's
Southern
pretty
Cal really surprised me.
Well, Southern Cal could be,
I was rooting for Southern Cal the whole
Yeah,
way. First time ever against you know who. And it was
Well, that was another interesting game. I got to tell you, he is that's the third year in a row he's lost the opener. And I'll tell you
and
what,
it's the same reaction after every loss.
it's kind of silly, right?
He
Slam at the
blames
desk
he
and-
blames the team.
Yeah.
Then I think it clicks in his head where it
Yeah.
says,
Oh,
"Uh-oh,
I
better take some of the
Yeah.
blame because that's what they're going to blame. They're going to blame me for this."
I can't
Then
think
he
of somebody.
pounds the table
He's
and
more, he's become very unlikable. And listen, I'm not a Notre Dame. I mean, I like Notre Dame, but I also like Penn State. I like college football, but this guy has become so unlikable.
yeah, and it was I spent a lot of time with him out of Notre Dame, and I
Yeah.
was never impressed, and I was
All right.
shocked he got the job to begin with.
Yeah.
But that's water under the bridge. We have a great coach now, in Marcus Freeman, and he really he never panicked.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
And the whole game he was very calm, and he knows that he has this offensive line that he's got to really talk to and really coach.
Yes.
Because no one, unless you've been in an environment like that, and I've been in those environments where you're calling the signals and your tackles who are about 8 feet away from you
Yeah.
cannot hear you.
Right.
And you wonder why people jump offside. Well, you have to be on the field and hear what's in your head because you can't communicate.
Yep.
Even though as much as you practice, because they'll practice, and every school does it, they'll practice on the field and they'll just blare music and noise into the stadium as you're practicing. But back in the day we didn't have those facilities to do something like that. But you adjusted to stuff like that. And I think the kids at Notre Dame really adjusted well. The offensive line, I think they are all really, really talented. But my thing was, are they ready for a big game like this?
Yeah.
And they played well, and they don't have the greatest schedule in the world. I'll be the first to admit that, because if they lose this game, there's no way to jump up.
Right.
As the season goes along until you get to the last game of the year with Southern Cal.
Right.
And who knows what will happen to them because they're going to be in the Big Ten this year, so they could get beat up a bit.
Right.
And
best thing that could happen for Notre Dame's strength of schedule is for Texas A&M to go undefeated from here on out.
That's what now we've become a big Texas A&M fan.
That's right. The strength of schedule will improve if Texas A&M should do well. I mean,
I think they're very good.
They're a good team. Yeah.
The quarterback did not play well, but you have to realize that he had a defensive coordinator that took him out of the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had every blitz known to man. They had pressure on him every time he dropped back. They had great coverage. I mean, he had tiny windows to get the ball into, and the guys were batting it down. And I just think our defense is that good that they would have made anybody look bad there. Nothing. The A&M quarterback is much better than he looked against us.
Yep. So good for Notre Dame, and also good for Notre Dame if A&M does well from here on out. And you know what? I really like. This is the first time I really saw him. the Notre Dame quarterback, and I'll tell you why. I think the kid is a natural leader. And if you read some of the stuff about him, as I did, and you probably did as well, about the things he's doing away from the field with his teammates, it shows me that he not only is a smart kid, he's a leader, but he's also got his priorities straight.
Yeah, Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
And I met him out there when I was out there in the spring. I met all the quarterbacks, and they're all really great kids.
Yeah.
And you hope for this thing, but my thing is, I'm totally against. I told the coordinators there when I was there that you have to get away from just bringing in a quarterback every year.
Correct.
Rent the quarterback for the year.
Yeah.
Nothing against Riley Leonard, but I think we have to. We sign really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's develop them. That's my whole thing. Let's develop these kids where they can play 2 or 3 years. But
well, unfortunately, the college game is getting away from the whole development aspect, and it's just kind of more of a
just ask Clemson.
Exactly, another one.
Dabo will not go into that portal, and it's showing.
It is showing. I mean, listen. You have to adjust. In this day and age. So I mean, okay. So staying with the colleges for a second. It's going to be an interesting, I think, season. I think, and seeing LSU lose early is always fun. Alabama, all these, I mean, and I know sometimes it's, you get these teams that come in and they take a beating and they walk out of there with their $500,000 or even more dollar guarantee check, because they brought their kids to play, and that's how it works. And it's those are the cupcake games, and we all know it. But then there's always the fun one where a team comes in, and upsets the team, and then walks away with a check as well. I'm thinking of Montana State, who did it a couple weeks ago. That was fun. I just get a kick out of that. Remember Appalachian State when they beat
Michigan in the Big House?
Yeah, and it was like, I think their guarantee was like $750,000 that year. So they took a loss.
Well, it made their year financially.
Yes,
so
year.
I'm concerned when you get some of these schools.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are not, physically strong enough to play with these big kids.
That's true. You don't want to see people get hurt.
You don't want to see people get hurt at the cost of making a few bucks on the athletic program.
I got
but
you.
A funny story. We're talking about LSU. This past spring, I was at a gathering when Congressman Steve Scalise.
Okay.
From Louisiana.
Right.
He's the one who got shot on the softball or the baseball field.
Right.
And he and I were chatting, and he said, "Listen, I'm really sorry that we took your coach away from you," because he went to LSU.
Okay.
And I looked at him. I said, "Steve, thank you very much. You will come back to me in a couple of years, and we'll chat and see how things are going."
Yeah, you're sorry now. So I do want to go through just a couple. I mean, because there are some actually really good games this Saturday.
This was, yeah.
Texas, Michigan.
Is going to be. I saw one
noon game.
One prognosticator picked 38-17 Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really.
And I think Michigan was probably looking ahead to Texas when they played Fresno State last week and squeaked by them. But I think Texas is that good. I think I saw them play, and they got 2 quarterbacks who were just marvelous.
Yeah.
And they got a defense. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They can defend. They're going to be very difficult to beat. They're definitely going to be in the playoff. They're going to be very high in the playoff contention.
I agree, and I think that is probably the game of the day, unless you want to count my alma mater, Rhode Island, who's playing Minnesota for some reason. Well, check, right? So
that's kind of game what would scare me.
Oh, really?
Even your Rhode Island people up there. I mean, that's a game that could be such a mismatch, and people get hurt in those things.
Do you know? And you probably should know, and you probably will know, that there was a URI Ram on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know that. Steve Furness.
Very good. Very good.
A teammate of mine.
Steve Furness.
What did he do? He turned down what to go to the Steeler camp? You're the Rhode Island graduate.
He turned down an oceanography. I don't know.
He turned down an invitation to try out for the Olympics.
Oh, doing what?
Discus throw.
Oh, now you say
he was very close to that. He was on the borderline of making the team or not, and he had to come to the Steeler training camp because Steve was not a high pick. I think it was a later round pick, And he's with the team. He left us much too early. He died several years ago.
He did, yeah. It's
And
sad.
just a wonderful person. And he was the guy that backed up the front four.
Right.
He came in for Ernie Holmes. He come in and give Joe Green a spell, and he played very, very well.
He did, and
Very sad.
And there have been several URI players in the league. So, but yeah, so that game is the game of the day. You have some other games out there that may be of interest, but Texas Tech at Washington State. If you stay up late for these West Coast games, and that's too bad that some of these West Coast games are better than the East Coast games. Although Georgia Tech Syracuse could be an interesting game, but you know what? I have to be honest. I love the fall and all this weather that we're having. It's September, right? It's great. Is putting on a game on a Saturday afternoon and watching a game in the dome.
Oh, anytime in the dome.
I know, but I mean, if it's raining out or if it's nighttime, but if it's a beautiful day and looking outside, I'm going, I can't watch this game in a dome. It just bugs me for some reason.
No, I agree, and
Yeah.
I've been in that dome.
Yeah.
And it's even weird to see a football game in a dome. I played in one of the first domes ever when they had the Astrodome.
Sure.
And we all went
With
down
that
there to play.
cement,
It was
with that cement
like
painted green.
it's like playing on a parking lot with about a half-inch worth of padding, and there were just burns and infections to the burns and,
Oh,
and all the stuff
yeah.
that was in. They were trying to experiment and get the best deal, and we had to go through the experimentation.
I have to tell you, and I don't have the experiences you have, but at URI, we played at BU, and BU was just like that. The BU turf, whatever, if that's what you can call it. It was just like hard green cement. Okay, so let's switch to the league where they play for pay, although they both play for pay.
Yeah. There was an article today that there are, I think it's 6 college quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They're making more money than the starting quarterbacks in the pros.
This is just
some of them.
I have to tell you, I saw a video somebody posted. Texas had a bunch of recruits in, I guess, for the first game, and they lined up Lamborghinis.
I saw that.
Did you see that? And I'm thinking to myself, this is insanity. I mean, come on. All right. So you had also sent me a couple of things that you wanted to talk about. I don't know if you remember. I can certainly call them up here. But what are your thoughts?
Basically, was the Florida State. That was interesting to. What did I put down there? Oh,
yeah, so okay, so
that can be later.
Okay, all right. So let's transition to the Steelers. Tough game actually, but I don't know how to call this one. Playing at Atlanta, I don't. What are your thoughts?
I think both teams are in a flux. Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not quite sure who they are yet.
Yeah,
and I think is Russell Wilson the answer? Is the offensive line? They've tried to bolster that this year, but they did not, play that great in the preseason.
Yeah.
Of course, the mixture in the offensive line in the preseason, you're trying to find who can play tackle, guard, who can back up at the center and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And but this is going to be a real tester because Atlanta same way. They don't have anything that you can really hang your hat on. So it's going to be one of those low key games that I think are going to be very interesting.
Okay. Any games, NFL games other than that catch your eye this weekend? I know for me, I have my Jet hat on here, so I'm looking
Monday night. You'll be watching that TV.
I don't know. Sometimes I can't watch.
All the Jet fans I know.
Yeah.
Just what you said.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I'm one guy I know that is just a diehard Jet fan. I talked to him the other day, and it says, "I know that Rodgers won't last more than 3 games. He's going to get hurt, and that's the end of our season." And we'll look to the draft. And I go, wow. You guys,
I'm not that pessimistic.
The Jets right now have a great chance.
Yeah.
Of being in. I'm sure they're going to be in the playoffs. I really am. But they got a chance to really advance in the playoffs. I really think that. You got to keep Rodgers healthy.
Got to keep him healthy.
And I think they have the offensive line to do that. And he's smart enough where he's going to get rid of the ball. He got rid of the ball quick when he was healthy and young.
That's true.
He had one of the quickest releases going.
Yeah,
and they've surrounded him with really good people. So I think I think the Jets, because they have a dominating defense. I mean, they are very good on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think they got a shot. And I'm
do
not a
too,
Jet
yeah.
fan, so
No.
I have nothing really to.
It would be nice to sneak out of San Francisco with a win. I think if you're going to catch him early in the season. I'm kind of upset that they signed all their great players. Trent Williams is back, and they have the Ayuk is back.
Oh, Ayuk, did he use Pittsburgh or what?
Yeah. Oh God,
That,
it's so obvious, isn't it? Sometimes
I
it's
was
like,
I
come
was
on.
at a point where I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, a month ago I said, cut him loose.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, all you're doing is boosting his power to get more money from San Francisco.
That's right.
Because San Francisco, I mean, you want to make the money, but and you'd like to be on a winning team.
Yeah.
He's going to make the money anywhere. Pittsburgh is questionable whether they're going to be, you know, how good they're going to be this year.
Yeah.
But, you know, so they're going to get the money and go to San Francisco where you're almost guaranteed to, you know, be deep in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, we're not, this is not a handicapping podcast, but just for the.
In fact, I've stated before.
Yeah.
You're better off
Yeah.
opposite of what I said.
Pretty good last year, I thought. You remember?
Well, I had a couple picks.
All right, so
but normally on a year-to-year basis, I've been absolutely horrible.
We won't do them all, but let's just pick a couple. All right, so the Steelers are getting 3.5 points against the Falcons in Atlanta. I would tend to lay the points here.
Yeah, I would take Steelers on that.
You would take the points.
Oh yeah,
I would lay them. So that's another point.
Yeah. I always get. That's how much I know about betting. You know, I don't know. Giving the points, laying the points. You know, what's the
all right? So
the deal?
Well, that's a good thing then, because you should.
It shows you I didn't.
That's right. This actually might be a very interesting game to watch. The Vikings at the Giants, and the Vikings are favored by 1.5 at least on this. Yeah, this is probably the latest 1.5.
I'm one of the few people in the Eastern Coast here.
Yeah.
Who likes Jones?
Well, you're one of the few, very few. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So
I mean, everybody wants to get rid of Daniel Jones. And I talked to David Cutcliffe.
Okay. Yeah.
The Duke, where we had to talk on another situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, you know, I really like Jones here in New York. He said, Terry, he's really good. He's really good. You just got to get a little more confidence. You got to stay healthy. That's that's key to anything.
That's the bottom line.
Any athletics.
All right, so let's just. I want to do so Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence at Miami. That should be another good game, and Miami is giving 3.5 points.
Well, I think Miami is better all around than most people think they are.
Okay, yeah, I'm hoping Jacksonville wins that game outright, but I'll take the points there too. New England can't lose by big enough, but they're 8.5 point.
No matter who they're playing.
That's right.
They could be playing the Russian army.
That's right. Bills, Cardinals. Bills favored by about a touchdown. Doesn't excite me.
Cardinals. Nobody. Who knows? Can you name me 3 players on the Cardinals?
Well, I know Zach Allen isn't there anymore. He's with
the Denver. Yeah. With a big check.
Yeah, with a very.
Did you see? Let's give a shout out to Zach from New Canaan.
Zach Allen.
Did you see anybody in the Boston College game from New Canaan, Connecticut?
I did. The starting right tackle.
No, right guard.
Oh, I thought
Jack Connolly.
Jack. Is it Jack or Will? Because Will is the Jack. Will went to, I guess, Fordham and played at Fordham, and this is Jack. So yeah, he started.
Did very well.
Yeah, did well.
As soon as I knew he was playing, obviously I kept my eyes on him. Yeah. He did very, very well, and that's a tough team. I mean, again, they're good, but BC was a lot better that night.
Yeah, BC was better.
And these kids in the front line really played well.
Yeah,
I'd love to know. I don't even know. I got to figure out who the offensive line coach for BC is, because I think this guy we got to keep an eye on.
Good for him, and good luck to Zach Allen with the Broncos this year, and obviously Lucas Niang with the Kansas City Chiefs and his 2 Super Bowl rings. I think he might be in the practice squad. I don't know for sure. My son was telling me he thinks he might be on the practice squad now, but we'll have to look at that. So I did watch him a little bit preseason.
Yeah, I saw preseason.
Yeah, also. So I'm not going to go. Like I said, I'm not going to. Here's an interesting one. I think watching Hard Knocks with the Bears. I mean, the Bears to me. They look like they got a lot of weapons, and it was fun watching them in Hard Knocks. I like it's funny how you kind of you grow to like these teams, even though they're not your teams. I like their GM, who was a guy who was cut in the league, was an offensive lineman. He's now the GM Poles, and I kind of like their coach Eberflus. And so I'm not saying I'm rooting for them, but they're 3.5 point favorite over Tennessee. I think I would lay the points there and take the Bears.
One of the few times I think in the last couple of years you take the Bears.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how you got a good crop of rookie quarterbacks going to be playing this year.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think I'm gonna hang my hat on Bo Nix.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about Bo. You and
Yeah,
I both like Bo right from the outset, from Jump Street. And I'm going to be rooting for Bo too, to do well. So, here's a very interesting game: Dallas at Cleveland, and Cleveland was given 2.5 points. That should be a good game.
Cleveland has an incredibly good defense.
Okay,
They are very strong on that side of the ball.
okay,
And you got to see the quarterback. Is he going to stay healthy? Or he hasn't played in a couple,
yeah,
almost 2 years now. He had to sit out 1 year, then last year he got hurt early. So, it's going to be interesting. And Dallas, you have the the Dallas One song. What's going on there?
yeah. What is going on
Is
there?
Jerry going to sign Dak? Will Dak stay? Dak
Yeah.
is a free agent. At the end of the year, Dak can go anywhere.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Jerry's
It's,
sort of playing it
he
because
is.
he knows he's going to write a check close to $200 million, no
Yeah.
matter
I think
what he
listen,
does.
I think it's playoffs and advance or bust for the Cowboys.
It's what other team wants to. There's a lot of
Yeah.
teams out there looking for frontline quarterback.
Front line, and we'll see what happens with injuries. Obviously, I mean, if Rodgers makes it through, because the Jets might be looking for a quarter, so we'll see. So, and the Rams and the Lions, that should be a very interesting game. It's kind of a playoff repeat. That's Sunday night, and then obviously Monday night you have the Niners and the Jets. Jets, Jets. Listen, I don't know. I mean, I'm just happy it's here. I love the whole weekend of football. I do. I watch every game. I'll watch it from tonight. I'll watch the game tomorrow night, even though it's weird being in Brazil. But I would watch, and then Saturday all day football with the college, like you.
And that
And
noon game, Michigan, Texas, I think it's going to
that should
be
be
a
the game to
really,
watch. Yeah,
really good game to see
yeah.
because I think Texas might be the best team in the country.
Okay, that's a good. I like that.
And I think this might be the first year where Ohio State will spank Michigan
Ooh,
when they play
okay,
each
all
other.
right. Well,
And it's been a while since we've seen that.
and you and I got into a little mini dispute, not a dispute, but kind of a via text last week while I was away at Saratoga, and you did the show with Rob, and hello to Rob, and thank you to Rob, and we got to get on. We all have to get on this together about fight songs because
Yes.
I saw the Notre Dame
And you
band
thought it
playing.
was the second best fight song.
It's my second favorite fight song.
Now, who did you say was your first?
I didn't because you put a gun in you. I said
Well,
the third best is
don't ruin
US.
the show.
See, and so you said don't say Michigan, so I said okay, I won't say that. I'll say Rhode Island because it's Rhode Island, but it's not Rhode Island. No, so
So I don't know why I'm so against Michigan because and how it's such a big rivalry. Because when I played at Notre Dame, we didn't play Michigan.
yeah,
We played Michigan State. Michigan State was the better team back then.
there you
With
go.
Bubba Smith
Yeah.
and all the boys, right?
Sure.
And I look back at the schedule, 4 or 5 years prior to me being there, no Michigan.
No
Then
Michigan.
4 or 5 years after I left, no Michigan.
No.
So there was, give or take, 10, 15-year span there where Michigan was not on the schedule.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they come on and this big rivalry, and I go, whoa, where'd this come from?
Yeah. Well,
listen, they're a great team. I mean, they've done a great job. And I think,
champs.
and I think we mentioned before that, there looks like they may get spanked again by the NCAA with, with all the problems they have.
No.
And, that to me, that's, Jim Harbaugh made a lot of money at Michigan, had success, got him a national champion,
went off to the sunset,
rolled off in the sunset with a bigger check.
Yep.
And that's it. His only punishment is if he comes back into coaching in college,
which he'll never do.
He'll never do. He's making $10 million a year with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And after that, he's finished.
Right.
So now Michigan is going to have to be punished for what Harbaugh was involved with.
That's right.
Whether he told these people to do or not, but there's too many years where he knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah, it seems kind of unfair, but
it is unfair. I mean, you can just
write
off the sunset.
I mean, the NFL certainly is going to punish him because it's not their
two different
jurisdiction
entities.
All right, my friend. What else on your mind? Anything?
I think we're good. I think we're going to have a lot more to talk about next week.
Oh, we will. But so we just want to wish everybody out there good luck. Stay safe. Stay healthy. College, pro, and obviously we have some high schools starting up as well. So great time of year. We love it. It's just good to have it back, and we're here for you.
And good luck on your horse.
My horse will run again in October. Nolita finished second in her race at Saratoga. She looks really good. She took a year off because of her growth. They didn't want to race her as she was still growing. This is a big horse. There's a picture of her back here. This is a big lady. And so she's gonna race at Aqueduct. You should come with me in October when she races. We'll have some fun. So yeah, that's my first time at Saratoga, and I got to tell you.
Oh, it's the first year I've missed.
Yeah, okay.
I've gone every year.
Yeah.
Forever, because my wife's from up around that area, so we go up
beautiful,
there.
Beautiful,
See the family. Oh, it's beautiful. Did you stay at the Gideon Putnam?
I did actually, yeah.
How was it?
It was very nice.
Yes, we stayed there. Back when we got married in Albany, then we had the reception at the Gideon Putnam.
Oh yeah, so, beautiful park area there.
And the golf course is spectacular.
Oh, it looks very nice.
And it's a state-run golf course.
Right.
It is absolutely, if anybody wants to go golfing at a gorgeous spot, and I keep getting their flyers, like $48 a round. Come on.
They have the hot springs. I mean, just a gorgeous area.
My carts cost more at my country club here than the round of golf that is up there, and it's a beautiful golf course.
I'll tell you what, it's really not that bad of a drive from here.
No,
and I said to my son, because my son came with me, and I got to bring Lori up, especially even if there's no racing, like in the fall, it's got to be a gorgeous drive in the fall with the foliage and stuff. Just driving up, seeing those, just the mountains and
there's a great walking course.
Yeah.
Around the hotel, Gideon Putnam.
Yep,
and I've done that many times, and it is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. All right, very good, sir. And so signing off, I'm Dave Toromio. He's Terry Hanratty, and want to wish you all a good week, and we'll see you next week to talk about how much money Terry owes me and how the Jets
dollar, one way or the other.
All right, take care.